Welcome to the Intercourse Show. I'm your host, Mr. B. Today we have a very exciting reaction video. We are discussing relationships. And there's a young lady who feels that she keeps getting passed over. So the Godfather, Kevin Samuels, interviews her and attempts to give her some advice to hopefully correct whatever the issue may be. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video.
You said that they're not even approaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how can you communicate if there's not an approach? You can't. So if a black woman in your circumstance that you're talking about gets approached, then the issue becomes what?
Well, I'll say with my experiences, a lot of men my age aren't really looking to settle down or be serious. They're kind of wanting to play the field. So I feel like that's where the communication
But you said these men are still approaching white women and Latinas.
they are. And they
Are you?
go and they settle and
They
have a
settle?
family.
They do what? They
Not
settle.
not settle like settle down. You know what I'm saying? Like get
Man,
married,
okay.
children,
Man, what
get
you
a
just said makes no
family,
okay, man. What you just said
fiance.
makes no sense. I said after they approach,
Mm-hmm.
and then what? You said, well, most men my age aren't looking to settle down. They're playing the field. Then I said, well, what you just said is those men are approaching white women and Latinas. Yes, they are. And then what? And then they get them and they settle down with them, meaning that a black woman could have been settled down with two. It's not the youth, it's not their age. See, what black women never want to deal with is the fact of the matter is your fitness and your attitude are your biggest problems. If you would be as fit as your competition and as friendly, cooperative, and submissive as your competition, you would win the majority of your men like any other race of women do and have done throughout history.
But that's what I was referring to with the cooperation and the communicating. That's where it goes wrong.
But it goes wrong from whose standpoint, the men or the women?
I could say both. It
No, you can't say both because you just said these men go off and settle down with white women. See, the more y'all do this bullshit, both. It's always both. Why can't you ladies just hold yourselves strictly accountable? Because you're losing to other women. The higher up your men go, especially your generation, more and more guys are saying they're not even starting to deal with women, black women, because of your attitudes. You
that's
know
what I
this.
was saying with the
Well,
communication
then you have
and
to
the
fix it. Because if they're not dealing with you, it's not as though they're not dealing with any woman. So let me ask you a question. Are you saying that the men in your generation are choosing to have no woman, or are they dealing with women other than black women?
they're dealing with women other than black women.
Then right
They
there
will
tells you, then right there shows you the problem. They're dealing with women. If you had said they're choosing to not deal with any women, then you could have made the argument. But now if they're dealing with women other than black women, why not understand why? Like I said, number one, are they as fit as your competition? You said no. 80% are overweight and 80% of that number are obese. You've heard black men talk about the attitude. You've been on this channel listening to women who don't even want to smile. And when I start asking these specific questions, you want to go down to both. This is what happens to matriarchy, where you can't hold women accountable. They never want to get down to the point. The problem is on your side. The men are still getting with women, yes or no? The young men are still getting with women, yes or no?
mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. So they're going into the store to buy something. They're walking out with a Becky or a Marisol. and they could have had a Kenya. So it ain't like they walked into the store without money and not intending to buy. You got to make your product better.
But that's what I was saying in the beginning. It
Okay.
comes down to the communication and us cooperating with each other. And
No, 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 no. It comes to you cooperating with us. See, that's why you keep going. See, you keep
or
talking
how
like
can
we're
you have
part. You
one-sided cooperation?
well, you don't have a choice. See, you're losing to Marisol Mylene. You're losing to Becky, Marisol, and Mylene. See, you keep saying cooperate with us. Why does he have to cooperate with us when he's going to go over to Marisol and she's willing to cooperate with him? He's going to go to the situation that is going to cooperate with him, then he has to cooperate with you.
But if you're cooperating, isn't that a team effort? So doesn't it take two?
Well, if
How
that's the
can
case, you shouldn't be losing. If what you're saying is the case, all things being equal, you should not be losing to non-black women.
but when I speak with most black men, they don't even want to cooperate with us. They already have it in their mind that, oh, it's
Where'd
just
that
not going
come
to be
from? Where'd that
win-win.
come from?
I'm not sure where it really. I
It
think
just
social
came, it just popped
media.
in their head. It just came from nowhere. One day they just woke up and said, this is what it is. No, because
I
they've
really
grown
do.
up. No, I'm going to tell you where it came from. This is very conversations where it came from. The inability for you guys to be honest. These guys are your brothers, your cousins, your neighbors. They went to high school with you. They went to junior high with you. They went to elementary with you. They went to pre K with you. Their mothers are you. Black men know black women intimately well because black women run everything in the black community. So if black men in your generation are choosing to not even deal with them, it's not because it doesn't come from somewhere. And you're talking about we need to cooperate with each other. Ma'am, if you're on the losing end of a relationship situation, if you don't get black men, what is your option? White men, Hispanic men, Asian men, Middle Eastern men? They're not running over to the hood or the neighborhood to scoop up black women in large numbers. Is it starting to sink in yet?
I I said in the beginning that it already sunk in with me, and I'm realizing that we just don't cooperate. I don't know.
Well, when
You
you
know,
said we
it's
don't
important to
cooperate,
do
you
that.
said we don't cooperate with each other.
Yes, we do not
And,
cooperate with each
and
other.
that's
The
the point. And that's
communication is
and see
lost.
the point is not we don't cooperate with each other. You women don't black women don't cooperate with black men. You must cooperate with us first. This is
But
about
I know
order.
plenty of black women that would not mind cooperating with a black man or communicating with a black man. It has to be a two-way street. It can't be just receptive on
Okay, I
one
don't
end.
think you're under. I think see again, right there, you ran it into a ditch. I know plenty of black women who would not mind while your non-black competition is ecstatic too. They're wanting to. They're leaving their racial preference of men to come over to talk to black men. They're choosing to come leave their neighborhoods and come get with Jamal. While Jamal's in your neighborhood and you're talking about I wouldn't mind. So Jamal has to ask himself, which woman is more ecstatic, exuberant, and excited about cooperating with me? Kenya or Becky? And by the words out of your own mouth, other women are more because you wouldn't mind cooperating with them. Somebody wants that means I'll do it if I have to. I'll do it. It's okay. I won't mind. Hey, you want to go to the movies? Oh, I don't mind. You want to go to Hawaii? I don't mind. Hey, you want to go to the movies? Oh my God, I would love to go to the movies. Hey, you want to go to Hawaii? Oh my God, thank you for buying tickets. You notice how different that is? Hello?
So are you stating that it's
Do you
just
notice how different those two things are?
yes, I noticed the difference in tone and effort, excitement. I see it, I hear it. But what where I'm coming from is when you say we have to be ecstatic or we have to be the ones who want to cooperate or to make it work, how can you cooperate or make it work with somebody who already has it in their mind that this is not going to work out anyway? So let me just get in, get what I want, and move on.
Sounds like you got a problem. Sounds like you got a lot of work to do. Sounds like you got a lot of. If you have a, if you got a, if you're trying to sell something to a market and they already have it in their mind that your product is bad, it's not gonna give me what I want. It's not gonna give me the outcome. And either you sell your product or you go bankrupt and don't eat. What do you have to do? What do you
Well,
have to
how
do?
can
What do you have to do? Don't ask me a question. What do you have to do?
you have to find out what you need to do to sell your product?
Ding ding fucking ding. Black women have to figure out why black men are not buying them. And then you have to give black men what they want up front. Not you can't, I don't mind. You got to be willing to outcompete Becky Marisol and Mylene. Because the problem that black women are having with black men is one that black women have earned. Like it or not, young lady, that's the way it is. And here are your options. If you don't want to earn it, then I'd like to see you go get it with Brad, Ahmed, Jose, or Mohammed. They ain't putting up with it. We all you got. That's why I said you don't. You're speaking like, well, we got to do it with each other. No, we don't have to do it with each other. Either you get on our program or you buy a dog and die alone. But I don't think
I
you like.
just,
I don't think you
huh?
guys like it, and I don't think they like it in that starker term, guys. You see how it goes down? It's like, well, still trying to make it to where, well, it's not fair. Go ahead and say it, it's not fair. It's not fair. Go ahead and say it, it's not fair. It's not right. It shouldn't have to be. How tall are you?
It shouldn't be that
How
way.
tall are you?
I'm 5'10",
Dress size?
160, 165. Oh,
Dress
I'm sorry.
size? Dress
Dress
size?
size, 8 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And you were saying it shouldn't be what?
I was just saying, it's gonna. I don't understand how we can make some cooperate or make something work with somebody who does not have interest in doing that.
Mm.
Period.
They don't have interest. You act like, okay, you make them interested. That's all you got, man. I don't know how you do it. You get off your lazy ass and you try. You fail, you try better. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Have you ever had to go after something that wasn't given to you? This is entitlement. You're not entitled to a black man. We don't belong to you
I
because
never
you
said that.
because you have belong because black women have for the longest acted like you didn't belong to black men. So now you're free. It's a free market economy. So now you have to sell yourself. You got to compete. And if you don't compete, if you don't, how, and if the black man is in your neighborhood and you can't convince the black man in your neighborhood that you're the best pick, you think you're going to go to the next suburb or the next group of men and convince them that you're the best pick? You think those women are going to let you take their men?
I just don't. How do black women act like we don't belong to black men?
God
I see
damn.
black women
Did
as
you
always
not
like,
answer the question?
oh, I'm sorry.
If you can't get the men in your neighborhood, what are you going to get? You're going to go to the other groups, other races, neighborhoods. You still got to convince those men and you got to compete with those women. I want everyone to understand this is how lazy and entitled the modern the modern black woman's attitude has become to black men. She can't even understand what I'm saying. I understand that she's really confused because it's like, well, I don't get it because you think it should be easy. Ma'am, if every black man today who was marrying age married every black woman in this country, there would still be 2 million more black women left. Listen and listen well. Marriage is not a guarantee. It is blood sport. It is competition. Every woman is not going to win, and you are going to have to compete. All fair in love and war. So what do black women who want to have a husband, especially if they want a black man, what are they going to have to do? They're going to have to do what? Figure it out. I'm thinking. I mean, people in the comment section are saying the same. Lazy. I just don't get it. I don't. They really
How is
want.
that? I just don't understand how is that lazy if we're just stating that it's hard for us to try with someone who literally doesn't
So
even want to give us a
so
chance.
it's hard. Okay, it's
So
hard for you to
how is
try.
that
So what?
lazy?
So
How
what?
is it
So what? It's hard for you to try.
disrespectful?
It's hard for you to try. It should be harder for you to live alone and die by yourself. So what? It's hard for you to try. Then what?
Well,
Then
I'm
what?
not
It's hard
saying
for you
that
to
it's
try,
hard for
ma'am.
us
It's
to
hard for you to
try.
try.
We can
Ma'am.
try,
It's hard for you to
but it's
try,
like
ma'am. It's hard for you to try. Do you have a college degree?
no.
Okay. Sorry, ma'am. Life is hard. Anything worth having in this life is worth working for. You sound lazy. It's hard. So what? Having If a man had to work for a worthwhile woman, you women would say a woman like her is worth working for. True or false?
Yes.
Thank you.
But I never said black men weren't working for. I'm saying
With
black men aren't
Go back
giving
and
us
look at
a
the
chance
comment
to
section, man.
even
You don't
try.
get it. I get it. You don't get it. And this is how far they've fallen, guys. She really doesn't get it. She really doesn't. And I don't
I
blame you for
understand
not
what
getting
you're
it.
saying, but what I'm saying to you is how can we try and put forth this effort to somebody who's not even receptive to
You first of all,
receiving?
it's a disingenuous ass question. You assume that 100% of black men are not there. I'll give it to you this way. You know how you do it? Because I'm a salesperson. Your job as a salesperson starts when somebody says no. If everybody bought that you asked, there would be no need for you. That means you have to deal with rejection. That means you're saying that how do we do this to a group of men who don't want it? You go ask them what they want. You knock on the door and say, how can I get you to be my boyfriend? How can I get what do you need for me to become your wife? You got to actually go to the consumer. I know it's crazy. You got to go to the person who you want to purchase your product and give them what they want. I know it's wild. You don't go to the market and say, "Hey, tell me how to sell you." Hey, I got this widget to sell. Tell me how. You go out and do all the research and tell me how to make millions of dollars off you. Lazy.
Okay, coming back. We just watched that clip of Kevin Samuels advising the young lady of what she could do to hopefully address, her being overlooked by some men. He brought up 2 points that I thought were very important. One of which was her weight. Sometimes men have preference. They want a woman who's healthy, and you create more opportunities for yourself if you are at a healthy weight that men desire, their women to be in, right? So it just means that you'll have more men to choose from because you're within that preference. But also, he made the point about being feminine, friendly, kind, respectful, those type of things. He said that women that look like her oftentimes don't put much emphasis on those factors, right? They think they can talk to a man any type of way. They think they can be disrespectful to that man. They think they could, let themselves go physically, and that man should somehow, some way, still desire to be with them. And I think there's a growing trend of men choosing not to do that. A man saying, "Hey, you know what? I want peace, and I would like to be talked to with respect by the woman I come home to. Obviously, I want to feel attracted to my woman. I don't want her to feel like it's okay to let herself go, but to expect me to keep myself sharp and healthy and fit and respectful. But she gets to just be as negligent as she sees the need to be." And so, it's just not a fair proposition for most men. And some men are choosing not to settle with that, right? And so they'll choose to go explore other options elsewhere. And you can tell that this young lady took issue with the fact that it seemed like men that looked like her were choosing women that didn't look like her, women that maybe represented a different race, maybe women that had a different temperament, a different offering. And she felt like, the men maybe should be shamed for not choosing a woman that looked like her. And I think Kevin Samuels, in his way, communicated that, look, sometimes you got to compete. You got to put yourself in a position to attract the type of man that you want. And if you want a high value man, you got to present yourself as a high value proposition to that man. You got to offer him something that he can't necessarily get elsewhere. So if somebody's willing to do more, somebody's willing to be more respectful, more kind, more nurturing, more feminine than you are, then you shouldn't complain if you're not being chosen by those men, especially if that's what they value. So the key is to find out what they value and then to provide that for them, right? Essentially to be that for them. And then that way you sort of open up the more possibilities to, attract a man that works for you. So that's my thoughts. I'd love to have you guys join the conversation. I ask that you, if you're not already connected to us, to like and subscribe and to share this video with friends and to weigh your thoughts on this particular topic, right? Are men choosing you? And if not, why, right? And how can we work together to come, into relationships with each other, all right? So thank you guys for joining us. Have a blessed and productive day. Until we meet again.